of here's how you can use this mortgage to be a benefit to you.
How available are you guys for that? I mean, are you guys, say if I have a client say they want to get approved, will you guys be available like next day or a week later or?
Very available. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I've sent a handful of people to them already, and they're more accommodating than almost anybody I've worked with.
Yeah, I mean, we understand that people find homes at nights and weekends, so I can send a pre-approval letter for an offer from my phone. Like I have a mobile app, so I mean, you should never be waiting on your lender to be able to submit an offer on a home. So as far as pre-approval goes in general, if someone fills out an application on my website and they are a W-2'd employee, we'll have a pre-approval to you within 24 hours. If they're self-employed or 1099, I need to see tax returns, and that just depends on how quickly the client gets them to us. Yeah. But a pre-approval should be a very quick process. We ask a lot of thorough questions on a phone call. We verify their documentation, and we send it out. If you're salaried, I don't usually need to see pay stubs. Yeah, we'll find out if you're lying soon enough. So little things like that. But yeah, the timeline with that is very quick.
How many years of income do you need for 1099 employees?
2 years of tax returns. Sometimes 1, usually 2.
Somebody who's been putting all their money into their bed along the season.
Good. I like the way you asked that. 60 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So we need 2 months of bank statements. Anything that's not like direct deposit from payroll, we're going to say, where did that deposit come from? That's one of the hardest things that we do is documenting assets. So if the money was already in there at the beginning of that statement from 2 months ago, it was already in there. Mattress money? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So this was a lot more relevant last year, but it's still something to keep in mind because it will become a factor again when there's when the shift comes and rates go up. Like I said, if a trade deal hits, we're going to see rates go up like quickly. But the general consensus around the industry is that we're going to see rates stable or lower over the next year. But that being said, the idea behind this is, let's say someone wants to wait to buy a house. Maybe they want to put more money down. Maybe they don't like the price of that home and they want to wait till prices come down, whatever it may be. The idea behind this is if, in this scenario, if this client's borrowing $270 instead of $300, $30,000 less, but the rate is 1% higher, the monthly payment is still $13 a month higher, even though you're borrowing $30,000 less. More relevant, the more common reason clients want to wait to buy a house is they want to save up more money to put down. So let's say someone's buying a $300,000 house. They already have 5% down, so they could buy it right now. But they want to wait and put 10% down next year. So they save an extra $15,000. Great job. But rates went up 1%. That is $33 a month higher, even though they put down $15,000 more money. So I show you these examples to say it's not like it's the cost of waiting. It's the cost of rates going up. Rates have more influence on your budget than down payment, than price of home, property taxes, all that stuff. So it's a good script I heard an agent friend of mine use is basically, you may not be investing in the price of a home the same way you were in 2009, 10, and 11. Right now you're investing in interest rates. You want to get that low 30-year fixed rate while you still can. It's a good tool to use because if you like, this speaks to clients a little bit more than those last two because it's dollars and cents. That's what a 1% increase in rate will do to your mortgage payment based on different loan amounts. So if you're borrowing $300,000, that's $178 a month just because rates went up 1%. And rates went up 1% last year. They went from 4 to 5 from the beginning of last year to the end of last year. So I had to have that conversation with a ton of clients. Pre-approved them in January, but they didn't buy till the fall. That's a huge amount of buying power loss. They went from looking at
That's what I bought in October.
I mean, 1% is like over 10% in buying power. So that $300,000 house, now you probably want to be closer to $270. So, like I said, these little things, if you need a copy of this slide, just email me. I can get you this. I know a lot of people who send it out to their database. It's a really good time to buy right now. We were fortunate to have another dip in rates, and here we are pushing into the 3s again. Who knows how long it's going to last? Hopefully Hopefully it does last a while. We'll see. It can definitely save a ton of money. This is another strategy you may have heard me share before. This is something that we did for a client in December, and it was literally the difference of the client going under contract or not going under contract. And it is a win-win deal. So this is something to think about whether you're a buyer or a seller agent. So it's called the permanent seller funded buy down. Patent pending. So as the market shifts, when it does become a buyer's market, which is a lot of people were predicting it was going to happen this year, but the dip in rates has prevented us from that and the less inventory. There will come a time where you guys will be working in a buyer's market, or if a home's just sitting on the market and you're trying to negotiate. Have you ever been $5,000 or $10,000 apart on price and a deal just didn't get done? You seen that happen, whether on buying or listing side? This is something to keep in mind. So from a buyer's perspective, they want to get a deal on the house, and a deal to them is a lower price. So I had a client at the end of last year who was looking up to around $400,000 for a house, and he kept lowballing offers. He would come in on a $400,000 house at like $360,000, and the listing agent or seller would either decline the offer or counter, and a deal would just never get done. So I send out 4 pre-approval letters, and I keep getting the same answer. Sorry, we didn't get the house. Deal got declined. Couldn't come to an agreement on price. So client calls me again, says, "Hey Nick, I got another house, needed pre-approval. Home is listed at $390. We're going in at $370." I said, "Sir, before you make your offer, do you have time to come into my office for an hour?" And he said, "Yeah, actually, I'm nearby. I'm right by the domain." And so he comes into our office. Just so you know, I can meet your clients anywhere. I'm at Mopac and Breaker is my main office, but I also have a desk rental inside of Keller Williams Round Rock. I'll come to Georgetown. Doesn't matter. So if you ever need to sit down and do a loan application, just give me a call. So in this case, he comes to our office at the domain. He has in mind what he wants to do. So I printed out 2 fees worksheets so you could see the difference. The idea behind what I thought was a better strategy for him is that instead of offering $370 and probably either getting rejected or countered, offer full price on the house. Give them the $390 they want and ask for 3% in seller concessions. So in other words, $11,700 ask for the seller to pay towards his closing costs. So what did I do with that almost $12,000? I didn't pay his closing costs. I used every dollar of it to buy down his interest rate. 3% in discount points. And what ended up happening, this is like at the peak of interest rates last year. So the way he wanted to structure the loan was a $370,000 offer. With 10% down, the rate was at 5.125%. My strategy was offer $390, but we bought the rate down to 4.25%. So almost a full percent lower in rate because the seller paid for that discount point. What ended up happening is the client saved $82 a month. So instead of 102 difference, 184. The equivalent of that, if he just wanted to get money off the price, he would have gotten the house for $352. That's the equivalent of what would have made his mortgage payment the same. So what I mean by this is when I say win-win, the seller wins because they, instead of giving up $20,000 off the list price like you wanted, they gave up $11,700. So that's an extra $8,000 in the seller's pocket. For the buyer, he is going to own this home. He said he's got 2 kids, 4 and 6 years old, going to stay there till they graduate high school. He used that seller money to buy down his rate and save $82 a month. So when it's all said and done, over 30 years, he saved $50,000. The long story short, to help you all in negotiations, using seller-paid closing costs to buy down your interest rate is about 3 times more effective than a price reduction of the same amount. So if you're $6,000 apart in price, getting $2,000 in seller concessions will make the exact same difference in the payment. Does that make sense?
That makes sense if they're gonna be there for more than 5 or 6 years.
That is the X factor. Are they going to be there long enough to recoup the benefits of doing that? Exactly. And it only makes sense with a certain type of clients, why it's so important to ask the question, how long you can own this home. So, like I said earlier, your preferred lender really does matter. There's too many loan officers in this industry who either just don't have the experience, they were not trained properly, and sometimes they take orders essentially. They're just, here's your rate, as opposed to going over their options, educating the clients on the pros and cons of each. Our team motto essentially is that we believe realtors that work with us will be more successful than realtors that don't. We're really confident in the value we add to you to help you close more deals, convert leads at a higher level, and that's something we preach a lot around our office. But anyways, to end with something a little more fun, let's talk about the top 10 things not to do. It's kind of similar. I give you a handout. It's the 10 commandments of what not to do during the loan process. These are things I've actually witnessed during my career. Luckily, these weren't necessarily my clients, but coworkers of mine in a lot of cases. But it goes over what we mentioned earlier. Do not stop paying your bills. This includes rent, loans, credit cards, child support, alimony. If you don't pay these things, why would a bank lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home? Like I said, credit refresh before closing. We're going to find out if you missed any payments. Don't rob a bank, go to jail, skip town, or become a wanted fugitive. A coworker of mine did the call to the employer and found out he got arrested the night before. He was in jail, so he ended up not closing on that house. Don't spend all of your down payment money before closing. This one should be pretty self-explanatory. I heard of a client once who got done verifying all the assets, because that's a hard process. We have to say, where did this deposit come from? Give me another month of bank statements. Verify where this transfer came from. So he tells the clients, we're good, we got your assets verified. So he goes and spends the money, and he didn't have a down payment when it came time for closing. So never know. Do not change your marital status. So this one is, Texas is a community property state. If it's a primary residence or second home, if it's a primary residence or second home, you have to have both spouses sign the deed of trust. So if a divorce happens, we need a signed divorce decree. Texas does not recognize legal separation. It's either divorced or married. So in that case, like I said, just let us know up front so we can plan accordingly. We have had clients separated by a home. If they want to buy it in their name only, you have to have an attorney draw up a certain document, and the spouse, the non-purchasing spouse, has to sign a non-homestead affidavit. It's a little complicated, but we've had that done before. So if they just have to buy a house right now and can't wait till the judge to sign the divorce decree, there are options. It involves getting an attorney and signing a specific document at closing.
What was the name of that document?
Non-homestead affidavit. Title company should know. Do not file your taxes. This has come up more than you would imagine. We send a form to the IRS called a 4506T to get copies of their tax transcripts for the last 3 years on most of our loans. If it comes back no record found, we're going to know that you probably either didn't file it or didn't file it properly, things like that. So if you owe the IRS, pay them. If it comes April 15th and you're not ready to file an extension, simple things like this. We can get around those as long as you're doing it properly and paying the IRS. Do not go overdrawn on your bank account. It's a red flag that you're irresponsible. Non-sufficient fund transactions, if you go negative on the account, an underwriter can choose to decline a loan at their own discretion because of that. Mattress money. Do not deposit large sums of random cash into your bank account. Money for closing has to be sourced in season. Well, there's the Patriot Act, there's everything, Anti-Money Laundering Act, everything that we have to adhere by as a bank to make sure that the down payment is acceptable. One other thing I didn't go over, I've seen people try to take a personal loan from their bank for the down payment. You cannot use borrowed funds. So, just another thing to be careful about. Don't quit your job. This includes quitting, taking a leave of absence, switching to part-time, or changing to commission. All those things can change how we underwrite your income. Overtime, bonus, commission, those all require a 2-year history, and we take an average of what you've received. So it's not just like what's on your most recent pay stub. We do have to show the history of that.
So on that piece, do you have to be at the same job for 2 years, or can you be at one job and then switch to another job?
It can be another. We've pieced together overtime from two jobs in the same line of work before and used it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This next slide I made in 2011. Okay, just to recap that one. Close on your home, get the keys, move in, then chase your dreams of launching a real estate career, becoming a professional car salesman, or the president of the United States. Do not open new accounts or charge up your credit cards buying furniture or appliances for the house you do not own yet. It's the most common thing we see. Yes, we know everyone's having a sale. Wait until you own the home, then you can finance it. If you want to pay cash for these items, great. Do not buy a car, a boat, a motorcycle, or anything for that matter. Yeah, that Escalade's cool, but it will not be cool when you live in that instead of the house you were going to buy. Help us help you. So like I said, reiterate all this stuff to your clients. No major life changes, no new accounts, no random cash deposits, no switching bank accounts. Little reminders from both sides goes a long way. It helps prevent these last-minute issues that make everyone scramble or delay closing and cause a lot of stress. So that is all I have for you today. Did I finish in time? 15 minutes to spare. Awesome. Any questions, concerns, anything I can help with? Is that all good?
Where are you located, actually?
So I am all over the place usually. I live in Round Rock. My main office, where my team is at Mopac and Breaker, right by the Domain. I have a desk rental inside of the Keller Williams Round Rock office as well. I have a teammate, Sharon, that's in there most of the time, and I meet clients for appointments there. So I'm more than happy to meet clients here. Like I said, the biggest goal that our team has had over the last 2 years is to try to meet every client in person. It's really hard to do. I think we're batting about 33% on that right now because most clients, there's your out-of-state clients and a lot of clients just don't want to. They don't want to take time out of their day to come and sit down. Traffic's tough. They can't get off work. It's reasonable stuff. It's not bad that they don't. It's just hard. But that being said, if it's stress, I have certain realtors that I work with who their clients come in a higher percentage of the time because they stress the importance of it. So I think there's a lot of value in that, and I think the more you stress that to the client, the more we make it a part of our scripts. So Drew, who's on that page, is a part of my team. He's who helps with leads. You've traded a lot of emails with Drew, I'm sure. He will, when we have a client come in, they either call me, fill out an application on my website, or email me, and we explain we have a 2-step process. Step 1, either on the phone or on my website, fill out a quick application. We can get a pre-approval out on that. Step 2 is we validate that pre-approval by you coming in the office and giving us all your documents. We also have a secure website where you can upload everything. We have some clients who we barely ever talk to, and they want to do everything digitally and never be on the phone, and everything's email, fax, or upload. And some clients I talk to and become best friends with over the course of our transaction together. A lot of phone calls, whatever it takes. So whatever is most comfortable for your client, we can accommodate. Like I said, I do think there's a lot of value in in-person meetings. So the more you stress that, I think the more they understand it, because you guys spend more time with them up front than I do. So I think I have a lot of clients who, when we'll ask for a document, they'll call their realtor to ask, hey, they just asked for this, and it's like, you can call me, we're cool. But yeah, I'm here to be a resource. Think of me as an extension of your team. So if there's ever anything you need, no matter what question, listing side, buyer side, doesn't matter, call me. If you're ever getting the runaround from another lender, I happen to love those phone calls. I like translating what their real excuse is. So anything you guys ever need, feel free to reach out. And thank you again for coming today.
Thank you.
All right. Hope it was valuable.
You have your calendar with you?
I do.
I'm gonna try to push somebody.
What's that?
I wanna try to push somebody.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also do coaching as well. If anyone is interested in some, I'm in a program called The Core, and it's for realtors and lenders. If you're ever looking for help with prospecting, this one piece of paper really changed our business. It's called a greatness tracker. It is the hardest thing I've ever tried to fill out. You do it every week. But if you even fill it up halfway, you're doing a pretty awesome job. The idea is meet with 15 people a week, have 5 coffees or lunches, have 60 good phone conversations, go to 1 or 2 events a week, prospect for at least 21 hours, write 10 handwritten thank you notes, and you track your leads, listings, and buy. And we can just have it with you at all times, just little slash marks, or write the people's name down if you want to follow up. This form will keep you accountable and make you realize what you're doing every week. It is huge. Make a bunch of copies of it and try it for a few weeks. I promise you the results are amazing. When I first did it, I wasn't even like 50% of the way with the form. And I remember being like, this is impossible. Like, there's no way anyone can do this. And I have a coworker in Nashville, Sean, who's been in this program for a long time. He does 2 of these a week. So there's nothing that's impossible about it.
He's also very wealthy.
He is extremely wealthy. Yes. He may or may not be a millionaire. But yes, so like I said, if that is valuable, or if you ever want to pick my brain on it, feel free to reach out. I find it adds a ton of value and keeps you on track and simplifies prospecting. I know you guys have a lot of systems within KW where it's, call that letter of the week and everything like that. This helps you instead of how many phone calls you're making, it talks about how many conversations you're having, which I think is more important. So just little things like that. If that's helpful and you want to learn more about it, there's a lot of other forms that we use as well, but that was a big game changer for us.
I remember I was going to ask a question. So, I think it was with Laban's deal too. So, let's say we do a contribution under option, and they're going to give $2,000 back. So instead of taking $2,000 off of the price, for Laban we did a $2,000 concession, seller concession.
Mm-hmm.
That money goes back to closing costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's extra money left out of that concession,
We buy down.
okay,
Exactly.
cool. That's what I was trying to figure out, because I know that when we had talked, it was she's not going to get that money in hand with closing.
Exactly.
And that's what I was trying to explain to her, is you're not getting the money from them to do the repairs, but you're saving that money with that closing cost, and it's in your bank
And
already.
it clearly says up to this dollar amount.
Okay.
So it's like you can use less than that if there's not enough third-party fees to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I sent you an email, Nick, if you could send me the slides,
Absolutely, yeah.
I sent you an email.
Yeah, I'll send you the one about the market shift and everything.
Appreciate it.
I can't share the whole PowerPoint because it's track approved. And I'll have it.
Whatever, yeah, whatever
But I'll
I
give you the
can-
stuff that I made.
Yeah, whatever I
Yeah.
can send to any of my clients.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah, the
want.
cost of waiting is usually the most valuable one for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Can you start over?
Get out of here, Tom.
Just for purposes I need to, I texted him, he hasn't responded, so I'm gonna call him.
Okay.
Church, this guy, and he works at the church, so he's usually working during the day without his phone on.
Yeah.
How you doing?
You
I'm
available
doing really well.
on
How are
Monday
you?
the 10th or Tuesday the 11th?
Yeah.
Monday to 10 a.m.
After, say about 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where would you want to meet probably?
All day,
So he works at
so
the
try to
church
work out.
in downtown Pflugerville.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they're near there, so.
Alright.
It's a lot.
Pretty busy, so.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully,
Alright.
either one, the domain or the KW Round Rock, whichever is better for you.
Trying to make
I'll
all
push
these-
I live in Round Rock, so that way
Are
I'm
you
in
gonna be here
Naples,
for
I
the,
don't mess with traffic.
Perfect.
Perfect today?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just tentatively put it on here right
Yeah.
now.
Which day you want?
Have
Monday.
you heard about it at all yet?
Okay, I'm gonna get in touch with
Yeah, I
you today
mean,
and
in
I'll
a
text
few
you.
meetings we've mentioned it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I missed it last week, so I'm coming.
Yeah, so did I. So that's why.
But it's up to 1 though, right?
Yeah.
I skip breakfast, so I didn't go get something to eat.
Yeah, so what usually like if he's open to
Where
it,
you
just
going to?
like
I don't know.
do like warm
wanna do
introduction.
something?
She'll be like, yeah, no, I can email them, she'll be like, hey, before we meet, fill out this quick 15-minute application on my website that I have their information in front of me, we can talk all the specifics.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
that'd be
awesome.
perfect.
Hey, thanks, Nick.
Cool, man.
Have
Always good to see you, man.
Yep.
Hey, did I see someone close like a big land? Big
Yeah.
land deal?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I'm trying a few different things. I don't know my
Congratulations.
niches, so I'm going after low-hanging fruit.
I love it, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too early to be picky, right?
That's exactly right. And, you know, it fits who I am.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I've yet to do a resale. To tell
Really?
you the truth.
You done new construction
All
and
new construction, land,
Yeah.
or there was a commercial appraisal done on my church that I sold in Northeast Austin.
That's
That's
cool.
what it turned out to be.
that's very cool.
So, who knew?
Who knew?
But Cap,
Well, yeah, dude, congrats. That's
for that
awesome.
one, it was a good story.
Absolutely.
Mess with Carrie now. She doesn't get as much as my paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to meet you today.
It was good to meet you.
Take care.
What time did you put in there? 4 o'clock on Monday?
Yep.
Okay.
Just tentatively, but I can wiggle it around.
Yeah,
Monday afternoons are always pretty good for me because I do like it's usually our busiest lead and contract day.
mm-hmm.
Everything's happening over the weekend and stuff, and so by the end of the day, it's usually perfect to meet with clients.
Perfect. I'm gonna put that in there. Cool. Yeah, he doesn't make a ton of money, but he's been working for the church long enough now to where
Yeah.
now he has something set. He got a raise at the church, now he's the head
Yeah.
maintenance guy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She's, I guess, for lack of a better term, not regularly employed because
Mhm.
she's taking care of her mom.
Yeah.
And then he has some money in the mattress that I said, put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And so we talked about some online checking accounts
Mhm.
or online savings accounts, just
Yeah.
something to where he can
Exactly.
start moving some stuff
Let
over.
it sit for a season for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he said, I think he said he's around $4,000 or $5,000 right now saved up.
Mm-hmm.
I showed him a few things that kind of gave him some hope, but what it looked like to me was August, September, October would be the earliest he'd be able to save more money.
Yeah.
But I don't know as much about it
Mhm.
as all the opportunities, but it's a very motivated couple living
Cool.
with his mom.
Yeah.
and
That's
she's not like
as
that.
urgent as it gets.
Exactly. And I think they got a little discouraged
Yeah.
after meeting with me and learning about closing costs. They didn't put that into their
Yeah.
equation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of said, typical, you're going to want $10,000 or $12,000.
Yeah.
And
I would say about 7.
and that's what I want
Yeah.
them to meet so they can start seeing something else for that $175,000 to $200,000 house. And I don't know.
I mean, lower usually around 66,000, 6,500 or so.
Okay, and so
Sometimes you can get the seller to pay for it, but it's tough over that price range.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I told him too. I said we're going to be competing with cash offers
Yeah.
at that price.
Yeah.
But he wants something in Pflugerville in that area, and there's new homes
Yeah.
that are Carmel over
Mhm.
off Weiss Lane,
Yeah, we have a few of those, yeah.
under 2,
Mm-hmm.
brand new,
Yeah.
and that would blow him away.
That's okay.
So
Nice.
I'll try to,
That sounds perfect.
yeah.
Hey, did you ever hear from Michelle?
Boy, that sounds really familiar.
She's the for the Mosleys.
Yes.
She's the
Yes.
the preferred lender for Saratoga.
Mhm.
Did she ever?
They went with
Yeah, I know.
Jacob.
Yeah.
If